What if the hardest season of your life was not a detour, but the road itself? Today we explore the story of a young woman who discovered that her life was never really her own. It was always part of a much greater plan. Our story begins in the Persian Empire, one of the greatest kingdoms the world had ever seen. King Ahasuerus, also known as Xerxes, ruled over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Ethiopia. He was powerful, wealthy, and used to getting exactly what he wanted. King Ahasuerus threw a massive 7-day banquet and commanded his queen, Vashti, to appear before his guests to display her beauty. Vashti refused, and that single act of refusal set in motion a chain of events that would change the course of history. Meanwhile, in a modest part of the city, lived a young Jewish woman named Esther. She had no parents, raised by her older cousin Mordecai after losing them both. She was beautiful in form and appearance. But more than her beauty, she carried a quiet grace, a faithful heart, and a strength she did not yet know she had. King Ahasuerus issued a decree. Beautiful young women from across the empire would be brought to the palace, and he would choose a new queen. Esther was among those selected. Mordecai told her one crucial thing before she entered the palace. Do not reveal that you are Jewish. Inside the palace, something remarkable happened. Esther found favor with Hegai, the keeper of the women, above all the other candidates. He gave her the best rooms, the best maids, the best beauty treatments, and the best advice. Every single day, Mordecai walked back and forth in front of the palace gate, watching, waiting, making sure Esther was safe. He could not be with her inside, but he never stopped watching over her from outside. After 12 months of preparation, the time came for Esther to go before the king. Ahasuerus loved Esther more than all the other women. He set the royal crown on her head and made her queen. The orphan girl who had nothing became the queen of the most powerful empire on earth. But not all was well in the kingdom. A man named Haman was promoted above all other officials by the king. Everyone bowed to Haman as he passed. Everyone, except Mordecai. Mordecai was a Jewish man who bowed only to God. And that one act of faithful defiance made Haman's blood boil. Haman's anger was so deep that punishing just Mordecai was not enough. He wanted to destroy every Jewish person in the entire Persian Empire. He went to the king with a lie, claiming the Jewish people were a dangerous threat, and convinced him to sign a decree of genocide. When Mordecai heard about the decree, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and walked through the city crying out in grief. Word reached Esther in the palace. She sent clothes to Mordecai, but he refused them. The situation was far too grave for comfort. Mordecai sent Esther a message, telling her about the decree, urging her to go to the king and beg for her people. And then he said the words that would define her life. Perhaps the most powerful calling anyone has ever received. Who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther sent a message back to Mordecai. Anyone who approaches the king without being summoned faces death, even the queen. She had not been called to the king for 30 days. Going uninvited could mean execution. Esther made her decision. She called a 3-day fast for herself and all the Jewish people in the city, and then she said the words that have echoed through history. I will go to the king, which is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. On the 3rd day, Esther put on her royal robes and walked to the inner court of the palace. She stood in the court. Across the great hall, the king sat on his royal throne. Her life hung in the next moment. And then he saw her, and the king held out his golden scepter. The king said to Esther, What do you wish, Queen Esther? What is your request? It shall be given to you, up to half the kingdom. But Esther was wise. She did not rush. She did not demand. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet first. Wisdom knows that timing is everything. God had not brought Esther this far to let impatience undo his plan. As God's plan moved forward, Haman's pride reached its peak. He boasted to his family about his wealth and position. But one thing still tormented him. Mordecai at the gate, who still refused to bow. His wife and friends advised him to build a gallows and ask the king to hang Mordecai. He loved the idea. The gallows were built that very night. That same night, the king could not sleep. He called for the royal records to be read to him. And the reader happened to come to the account of how Mordecai had once exposed a plot to assassinate the king. Early the next morning, Haman arrived to ask the king about hanging Mordecai. What should be done for a man the king delights to honor? Haman assumed the king meant him, so he suggested the grandest possible honor. The king said, "Go do exactly that for Mordecai the Jew, the man you despise." Haman had to honor the man he came to destroy. At the second banquet, the king again asked Esther what she wanted, and this time, she was ready. She revealed everything. She told the king she was Jewish. She told him about the decree, and she named Haman as the enemy who had planned to destroy her people. The king's fury was immediate, and Haman's face went pale. The king stormed into the garden. Haman threw himself on Esther's couch to beg for his life. The king returned and misread the scene, thinking Haman was attacking the queen. His judgment was instant. A servant told the king about the gallows Haman had built for Mordecai. The king said, "Hang him on it." And so it was done. The king gave Haman's house to Esther, and Esther revealed that Mordecai was her family. The king removed his signet ring, the same ring that had sealed the death decree, and gave it to Mordecai. He was promoted to Haman's position. What the enemy built to destroy Mordecai became the very platform God used to elevate him. If you have ever felt like you were in the wrong place, the wrong season, or the wrong story, Esther's life is God's answer to that feeling. You are not here by accident. You are not here too early or too late. You are here right now for such a time as this.